Hello, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will guide you through the process of creating your own background scene in CLO3D. Using a simple, single color backdrop with lighting is a good start to showcase a design. However, incorporating a scene into your render can take your presentation to the next level by enhancing the overall atmosphere and effectively conveying your design concept through the garment. In CLO3D under Stage folder, you will find various pre-designed scenes and runway stages, all equipped with preset lighting. These options are fantastic for beginners as they provide a quick and easy way to present your design. You can customize these scenes by adjusting the colors of the walls, floor, or props, removing object, and adding additional lighting to suit your preference. While these built-in scenes are convenient and visually appealing, they might not always align with your specific design concept. To create a custom scene that perfectly matches your vision, you can start by adding props. So, how do you make props? It's simpler than you might think. Here is an example of a recent design I worked. For this garment, I wanted to showcase a mirror reflection of the dress design. The first step was to create a mirror prop. In 2D window, select Rectangle tool and draw a rectangle shape which is half of the finished mirror's width. Use the internal polygon tool to outline the mirror frame and cut it out. Once the half mirror frame is ready, use internal polygon tool to make the cutout shapes. After finalizing the shapes, select All, right-click and choose Convert to Whole. Since the cutout detail repeats across all four corners of the frame, you can either copy, paste, and flip the shapes for each corner. Or use the Unfold function for faster mirror duplication. Lower particle distance to 5 and add thickness rendering to the pattern. Decrease curvature percentage to get cleaner cutout edges. Next, I will create an oval shape for the mirror by using internal ellipse tool. Before cutting the shape, make sure all the curves are smooth. Use Smooth Curve tool to adjust if needed. When creating a prop, simulation is often unnecessary and can be avoided in many cases. However, if simulation is necessary to connect pieces, it's best to freeze all the other pieces and leave only the one you want to connect active. After cutting the oval shape, to get the mirror effect, you need to change its material type to metal in Property Editor. Reduce the roughness to 0 for a clear reflection. Check the result in Render window. I think it looks great. I can start choosing color and material type for the frame. Next step, go back to 2D window and go to Top Window toolbar. Under File, select Export OBJ. Name the file and click Save. In the Export OBJ setting window, check Select All Patterns. If you applied graphics or trims, make sure to check and select all graphics and trims. Choose Single Object and Thick. Under Basic, choose Centimeter 100%. In File, select Save with Absolute Texture Image File Path and click OK. Now I can delete the patterns in 2D window. Before doing that, it will be a good idea to save it as project file for any future revisions. Go to File and choose Import OBJ. In the Import OBJ window, make sure to select Scene and Props in Object Type and click OK. A lot of time when you bring back an OBJ file, the material type will reset back to default setting. You will need to reselect the material types. I will bring in an avatar in 3D window and check the result in Render window. If you apply texture to your prop with normal and displacement maps, double-check to see if you need to add the displacement back again. Once in Render, I will set up image size, quality, background color, and lighting. When it's done, go to File, choose Save as Scene and Props. You can use your own custom thumbnail photo or select Auto. Name the file and select its save location and click Save. And there, I have made a prop in CLO3D. To verify the prop, go to File and choose Open Scene and Props to bring the file back to 3D window. When saving as prop file, all the properties you selected will be saved, and they can still be adjusted. Here is the final setup for the dress design. The marble platform was a free download item from Connect clo-set website. And this is a simple way to create a custom scene. The next demonstration, I plan to create a more complex background. CLO3D allows you to design a wide range of items, including furnitures, stages, decorative pieces, and interior spaces. However, it does have its limitations. For instance, creating natural stones, rocks, or trees that look realistic can be challenging within CLO3D. In this tutorial, I'll also show you where you can download these elements for free. For this design, I'll create a fairy tale scene featuring an arch gate entrance to a mystical fairy forest. To create the arch gate, first I will start by uploading an avatar into the 3D window to use as a size reference. Next, I created a rectangular piece and used the graphic tool to import a reference image. Adjust the image size using Transform Graphic tool and make sure it's proportional to the avatar. I also added a second rectangle piece and use it as the wall in the scene. On the wall, I imported another graphic image that I will trace later for the cutout design. Back to the arch gate, I will start tracing the design with internal polygon tool. If you've watched my previous tutorials, you might wonder why I didn't use the Transform Graphic tool to directly trace the design as an internal shape with a single click. The reason is the graphic I used was low quality and low resolution, which would have resulted in a messy traced internal shapes. So I will manually trace each cutout as an internal shape and then right-clicked to convert it to a hole. Although this process took me about 30 minutes, the result was a much cleaner and more precise cutout design. It's a similar process for the wall cutout design, so I will skip and jump ahead to the next step. The arch gate and walls are now complete. The next step is to add texture, and I like to add stone texture for the walls. Previously in my video, I mentioned Polyhaven, a website where you can download HDRI images for render backgrounds. Additionally, the site offers many free textures. Go to top window under Assets, select Texture. In the Texture category, click on Rock. After browsing through the options, I found this dry riverbed rock texture that will work for my design. To download the texture, on the right side of the page, select Zip File Type and choose the zip contents. Then click Download. Back to CLO3D. Select Wall Material in Object Browser and go to Base Color Map in Property Editor. You can either click on the 4 squares icons to import the texture file or drag the texture directly into the map. Repeat the same steps to import normal and displacement maps as well. Adjust the displacement map value to enhance the raised texture in the render window. Next, I will create a new rectangle piece and position it behind the walls and the arch gate. Using Graphic Tool, I imported a forest image created with Leonardo AI. For those who are not familiar with Leonardo AI, please check out my previous tutorial of how to design your own fabric print. Once the image is uploaded, use Edit Texture Wheels to scale the background image appropriately. Go to Render window and check the scene setup. The scene still appeared flat, and the lighting required adjustments. Before making adjustments, I like to add more props to enhance the scene's visual interest. I return to Polyhaven, under Assets, click Models. More options will show up. Under Nature category, I like to find a rock to use as the ground floor, and some trees to add to the scene. When downloading the file, it's a good idea to check the file size first. Large file size will not only slow down your computer but also increase the render time. I select a Namaqualand boulder rock for the ground and Sergia lucida tree for additional elements. Go to right side of the window, select FBX file type and click Download. All these files are completely free to download from the site. If you'd like to support them and help keep the free downloads available in the future, consider making a donation. Now both files are downloaded, it's time to import them in CLO3D. Go to File, choose Import, add FBX to locate the file. Once the rock has been brought into the 3D window, the size is way too small for the scene. To adjust it, use the square icon next to the FBX file in the 3D window. Drag the colored bars to adjust dimensions or scale proportionally using diagonal arrows. Now the rock size and position are set, I will change its color to match the background image floor. Using the same method to import the trees into 3D window. You might notice that the trees appear white at first. When you download FBX files from Polyhaven, you will get an FBX file along with a texture folder. Simply open the texture folder, find the color texture image and add it to Color Map in Property Editor. And the colors will then be applied to the trees. Next, I will arrange the tree placement in the scene. Once it's done, I will check the result in Render window. For the lighting, my preference is to go through the CLO3D preset lighting options to find one that kinda matches the vibe I'm going for. Then I will tweak and add more lighting effects to refine the scene. By the way, I was screen recording while adjusting the render lighting, and unfortunately, it caused my computer to freeze. So, I'll skip showing that part here. But here's the final lighting setup in 3D window. For this render, I used A4 image size. When arranging objects in the scene, I focus only on what will be visible within the A4 frame to save rendering time and keep things efficient. Once I am satisfied with all the setting, it's time to export the scene as OBJ file. Go to File and select Export OBJ. In Export OBJ window, make sure to check and select all the pattern pieces. Since I imported many FBX objects into the scene, I have to check Select All Avatars. If you are using graphics and trims, don't forget to check all graphics and trims. Keep the rest of the settings as default. Single object, thick, centimeter in scale, 100%, and save with absolute texture image file path. Click OK to export. Next, I'll import the OBJ file back into the 3D window to ensure everything looks as expected. In the Import OBJ window, select Scene and Props as the object type if you want to save the setup as a scene and props format. Once uploaded, go to Property Editor and check if you need Reselect Material Type and Reapply Displacement Map. Also go through the image size, background colors, and lighting setup. Make adjustment if needed. If there's some setting missing, no need to worry. You can still adjust it later. Once everything is finalized, go to File and save it as Scene and Props. With the scene complete, it's time to prepare the fairy costume. I added this garden fairy wings to the garment. If you're interested, it's available for purchase on my Connect clo-set page. After setting up the fairy outfit and avatar pose, I can add the scene to the 3D window. One thing I like to mention is that if you add the garment project file after the scene, it will overwrite the scene's lighting setup. That's why I prefer to set up the garment first, then add the scene back. When rendering images, if you have positioned the avatar and garment in the desired spot in 3D window, you can go to top window toolbar, under Setting, Display, Viewpoint, and choose Custom View. A custom view window will appear. Click the camera icon to save the current viewpoint. You can always return to the saved position by click the custom view. For the initial render result, the lighting appeared too bright and strong. I need to tone it down and adjusted the colors to create a more mysterious and magical look. Lighting adjustment can be time-consuming, but with practice, it gets easier and becomes more intuitive. Here's the final rendering result. What do you think? That's a wrap for this tutorial. I hope this video will help you create your own stunning scenes and props for your future garment presentations. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more helpful content. See you next time.